Happy July 4th. If you found me, you're going to be tuning in to some soulful conversations we're going to be having about personality typing with a spiritual understanding. Since it is July 4th, woohoo, notice the poodle flag on my shirt. My sister gave me this. How sweet was she? I love it. And I can't wear it that much, so I should wear it all the time though, really? Well, I just saved it for July 4th. That's kind of silly. Anyway, happy July 4th to everybody in the United States, and welcome in to everybody else. Appreciate you being here. As I said, this is a channel where we talk about personality typing with a spiritual understanding. And since we are celebrating July 4th, I wanted to talk to you about, first I'm talking about the blog, and I'm going to give you some of the inside scoop behind the scenes of the blog. That's what this channel is. I kind of want it to be more of a teaching place. And the blog is too, because it's my learning library, but I go a little bit deeper on YouTube. Anywho, the blog is about, well, it's about 4th of July. And really taking into account, what does this actually mean? You know, 4th of July is about our independence and our sovereignty, right, and freedom. And when I think about freedom, you know, I do feel very blessed to live in the United States. I know some people probably watching this are like, yeah, whatever, but it's okay. You know, I do feel blessed that I do live in a country where we might not always look good to everybody else in the world, but you know, we have one of the most diverse populations, I think, on the planet, which gives rise to so much, you know, strife and struggle and challenge, but it's because we're all so different, and I love that. And all our personalities are so different too. So it's the perfect place for me to be here in Earth School. I guess that's why I chose it, to live in the United States. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about freedom. And when I speak of freedom, I believe that real freedom is found within. And I believe the way you reach real freedom for yourself is finding and learning about your true self, the truth of who you are, really figuring out the who of who you are. And it's not some created self. It's not some imagined self that you want to be. No, it's not looking out and thinking, oh God, I should do this. Like I say, copycatting or fantasizing about, you know, someone's life you see on Instagram or whatever, on the movies. Like, wow, their life is so great. I want that life. Do you? Is it innate to who you are? Does it mirror and align with your personality type and your soul's intentions here on earth? Or do you think you've just been pushed into this way of thinking and believing about yourself? Because that's what your country culture says. That's the expectations you are led to believe that should be yours. When in reality, it might not be. So a lot of finding freedom, real freedom for yourself, does come from finding your truth. And it also comes from accepting who you really are, and that's your truth. And the acceptance comes when you realize, hey, what maybe works for this person doesn't really work in my life, you know? And here's where the blog, I'm going to vary off the blog a little bit right now. And here's what I realized, right? I was in New York City receiving an award. It was a big award. And I had won a platinum award, which is like winning like a Grammy or an Oscar. It's a very prestigious award. It's from the Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International. Mouthful. And it was a public relations marketing communications award. And it was for work I did for a private resort with Sports Illustrated swimsuit. So I was up on stage and I was like, wow, you know, and I wanted this. I had waited my whole career, which I was in public relations for a good 15 years. And I had waited my whole year, and I said to myself, one day, Nina is going to compete with all of the New York Madison Avenue agencies because I am good enough. I can do the work. I am creative enough, right? And for you probably don't know me, so I'm going to share this with you. But I'm like a dog with a bone. You give me something to do, and I will do it until I succeed. I think that's part of my personality type. Some parts of it. I think another part of that is my conditioning of growing up. Do it, work hard, achieve it, get it done, right? Do it at all costs, you know? So what I came to discover as I was standing on that stage, I should have been like thrilled. This was my moment. This is when I was competing. And all these big Madison Avenue agencies were coming on stage, and they had groups of like 20 and 30 people, 10 people. Here I stood, very proud. Actually, I was very proud of my accomplishment. It was a big accomplishment because it never before has a private resort, a private island, been featured in Sports Illustrated, in the history of all Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazines. Now, island nations have been covered, of course, but not a private island, not a privately owned island, never been featured. I accomplished that, and I was proud of that. So I'm telling you all this not to brag, like, oh my God, I'm so good, you know, and I was good. I will tell you that. I was very good at what I did. But I think the real important story here is what I'm getting at is this finding your truth and your freedom. As I stood on stage, I was kind of feeling like, what's missing? Like my stomach started rumbling. I kind of had a little bit of unease. And I sat there and I looked out, and there was, you know, the whole room was filled. There's probably 1,000 people there from all over the world. And they only give out 3 of these awards, and I was one of those from chosen all over the world. And I was still like, yeah, this is really cool, but something's missing. Like, what's missing? And I could feel it. There's like gurgling or a hole in my tummy. I felt like I wasn't getting full. So I bent over and I said, you know, to the CFO of the island, I said, we did good, you know, we did good. And it's like they handed the award over. While I was thrilled, I was like, there's something missing. Because I still kept on gurgling, and these thoughts kept coming in, and my stomach started rumbling, and I knew right then that I wanted more than what I was doing. Like, is that what I want to be doing for the rest of my life? And I'm like thinking to myself, no, this isn't it. And so right then and there, I said a quick prayer, and I said, show me, you know. And that's a whole other story, because boy, was I showed through a 7-year life tsunami. But it's getting back to the truth and how we all kind of stumble into this, you know. It was just, I was constantly being pushed to, you know, show up, be this, do this, you're good at this. And I was good on a lot of aspects of it, but it wasn't organically good for me because it had a lot of things that stifled my creativity. There's a lot of things that had to fit into a box. There was a lot of ways I was living more in a traditional sense in the world, which is that's not my personality type. I'm kind of boho, free spirited, unconventional, you know, fly by the seat of my pants, and you really don't do a lot of that in PR. It's very like, it's regimented. So I'm telling you this because once I stepped back and let that fantasy go of doing it more and getting more awards and you know, competing, it gave me room for more things, for other things that come into my life, and they certainly have. And I'm now doing what I really love, is teaching personality typing with a spiritual understanding. I mean, not just, if I can change one person's life for what I'm doing, And to me, that's legacy building, man. That's beyond any award on any stage. Now that's me, okay? But I'm sharing this because I finally, at that time in my life, I finally found myself. At least I was on the truth journey. You know, I was getting myself on the path where I could start figuring myself out, right? Where I could start letting things go so other things could come to me. I was getting my personality type healthier too. Because once your personality type is healthy, it actually works to support your soul's intentions. It aligns with that. So the cool thing is your inner beingness, your inner self, starts communicating with your soul self, with that part of you that's still connected to divine intelligence. And you start getting all these great insights, gut instincts, and intuitions, you know? And if you're healthy, if your personality type is healthy, it can tune into this stuff. And then you start taking inspired actions. And you start experiencing enlightened living, because you experience through the physical. So your personality, your personal reality, you experience all of that through the physical world, your humanness, right? So when you know your truth, you're experiencing from a very high level, you know? You've let all those conditioned aspects of yourself dwindle down. They're quieted. They're still there. They're still there. But they've become quiet. They've taken a back seat. And the fears, again, have calmed down. They've taken a back seat. Same with the ego. They are going to rise again because there's something else you need to learn to evolve your soul, to grow up, as I say, you know. It's funny. It's like, you know, your parents always say, you need to grow up. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool. So do you. Because when you grow up, and I'm not being disrespectful, because when you grow up this way, in elevation, in transformation. You're elevating and evolving, so you're growing up. I love that. It's so simple. And I really believe life is all about figuring out who you are. What's your truth? What's your truth? Right? What's your truth? Do you know your truth? I don't know. It's a big question. It's a big thing. So, I started on the blog. I did craft. And I took all the 16 personality types. So if you know your type, you can go to the blog and check out my viewpoints on your truth. Now these are my opinions. These are opinions based on 10 years of studying, of becoming a certified Myers-Briggs type, and knowing enough about your indicators that I can kind of gauge your truth. Now, of course, I would be arrogant to think I could pinpoint your exact truth, because there's no way I could do that. There's no way. You have too many life experiences and influences and things that I know nothing of. But it's just a little start. It's just a little step on that journey of truth, just to get you thinking, right? And if what I'm saying doesn't resonate with you, leave it alone. Don't mess with it. Move along. Go to the journal prompts. Set journal prompts in there too. Go to those. I am not your guru. I am a guide. I want to be that light in the storm, so you can just find your way to shore, find your way to your home, to yourself, to your true self. Because again, I'm going to say, I believe in knowing your true self is your actual purpose in life. I think we make it so freaking difficult, right? Like, what's my purpose? Oh my gosh, I need this. No, just know yourself. Because once you know yourself, all the other stuff just comes naturally. Because it's innate in you, right? You're no longer fantasizing and being about this, this, and this. Unless, of course, you know your truth and you're on your dreamscape and you're going to your next beautiful thing you're going to do with your life. That's amazing, of course. Of course. Right? But you got to know yourself to let all of that evolve. You just have to know yourself. So, this 4th of July is really all about finding your freedom within. Finding your freedom. Finding your freedom. And I want you to celebrate that about yourself. And like I said, I've given you some journal prompts to help you walk through and start, helping you look at that. Helping you see that. Helping you start to realize what your truth is. And you'll know it. Because this calm knowingness will come over you. I want you to journal on that. And I have a couple other prompts too to help you realize that in different situations. But once you start becoming yourself and really knowing yourself, there's a great freedom to that. It helps you align with your values and your virtues. It helps you make choices. It gives you clarity and confidence and courage to build the life that you want to build for you on your terms, in your way, regardless of what's going on around you. That doesn't matter. I know it sounds crazy to believe, but you can build a totally cool life no matter what's going on around you. You can. Now, I know that there's extenuating circumstances, like if you're in a war-torn area or something like that. I understand that. It's really hard to do. But you can't try to elevate yourself as much as you can out of the line of fire and just start removing yourself. It's not easy. And you might not be able to do it at first. It'll take time, which anything worth doing is going to take time. It's just a fact. This isn't, I'm like, oh, I'm going to know myself, snap my fingers. This isn't a magic trick. This took me 7 years. I'm still processing it, and I won't be processing it, and I'm committed to it. And I want to evolve into my best self, and that's my life commitment forever until I take my last breath. And if I can help you do the same, I am filled up so far beyond and standing on that stage and winning that award, which was beautiful. But that's another external thing. I want to work to help you align all those internal things. Align with the beautiful soul that you are, that's always trying to feed you what's best for yourself. But if you're like me, I locked it down and ignored it. So, nope, I know best. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be this way. No, that's not me. When I was lying to myself. Because I was depending on the external world and influences that I let overshadow myself. I'm not doing that anymore. Just not gonna do it. Look where it got me. It got me on a stage at UNC, accepting one of the most prestigious awards, and I wasn't happy. Something's missing. And I should have been jumping up and down with joy. I guess I was proud, but it didn't fill me up. It doesn't fill me up enough. Like when I talk to a client and they're like, oh my God, I get that about me now. I'm like, yay! Because that tiny shift is like climbing a mountain. You've broken yourself open. Once you break yourself open like that, you break down, you break open, you're allowing your beautiful soul, your higher self and divine intelligence to come in and fill that broken openness with divine intelligence beyond our imagination. It's a creativity that's so powerful, so much more powerful than any authority figure could ever be. what happens, right? It's what happens. It's a beautiful place. So, I'm going on, and I'll be going off because it's 4th of July, and I'm sure you all are having barbecues and fireworks with family and friends. And if you're not, you're like me, I'm a little bit more low-key. It's going to be just me and my son, or me and a good book, maybe a few phone calls. But I'm happy with that because I'm happy with myself, because I know myself. I don't really ever get lonely, you know? I don't, because I know this beautiful energy is always flowing through me, you know? I go outside and look how beautiful the worlds are. You know what I mean? If you don't, you just go on my Instagram page and there's a flower every Sunday, because the world is just so beautiful, and I just drink that in. I do, and I'm an extrovert. So I know a lot of people need connection with other people, and that's a good thing too. But however you're going to celebrate yourself. Celebrate the idea of finding freedom within you. Celebrate that. Happy July 4th from the USA, and happy Sunday to the rest of the planet, wherever you are. And I hope you will take time in the upcoming weeks to really find yourself, to find your truth.